copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 11. Regarding the murder of officers Brett and Chester, who was shot to death tonight in Boyle Heights. Suspected driving a battered old Ford. Description of the only suspect obtainable is a medium height, has thin hair, wearing a checkered suit. Get 'em, boys. That's all. Roll some clips.
If you are the average motorist, you buy gasoline for only one or two cars. What would you do if you had to supply thousands of cars with gasoline? You'd check pretty carefully all the different brands. You'd analyze their many claims. And not satisfied with claims, you'd make actual tests yourself to see which gasoline is most powerful, which is the fastest, which gasoline really does give more miles to the gallon. That's how the buyers for large cities like Los Angeles and Oakland select the gasoline for their thousands of police, fire, and emergency cars by actual tests. What gasoline wins these tests? Nearly everyone knows that Rio Grande cracked gasoline has won them for years, and thereby won the contracts to supply gasoline for more police, fire, and emergency cars than any other brand in this market. It is an honor to have the finest, fastest, most powerful motors on the road using your gasoline. Rio Grande is able to hold this leadership only by producing a gasoline which actually outperforms others. No other gasoline can equal this performance because Rio Grande holds the exclusive patent rights to manufacture cracked gasoline by the Sinclair process. Millions of dollars have been invested in special refinery apparatus which breaks gasoline drops into unbelievably small atoms so they'll burn more efficiently in your car. Rio Grande balances cracked gasoline so it starts quicker than other brands. So it generates more power, so it speeds up faster. And this cracking and balancing ensures that Rio Grande crack burns evenly and completely. So there's no waste, as in gasolines made by the ordinary refining process. You can actually feel the difference in your own car when you change to Rio Grande cracked gasoline. One tankful will convince you that there's a world of difference. Please try it. Now we are pleased to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. It is only when a police officer is slain while protecting your life and property that many of you realize how dangerous and at times how thankless his life is. The brutal killing of two men with whom I worked in the first Auto Patrol in the city of Los Angeles 15 years ago startled me as it did the entire police personnel of the state into such a realization. Tonight's dramatization of that fiendish slaying and the manhunt that followed it will, I sincerely hope, impress upon you the peril in which your police officers work. I hope, too, that it will serve as a warning to those who live outside the law that it is far more dangerous to shoot a policeman and take a chance on getting away than it is to surrender. For although a detective will do his best, no matter what the case is, he will do a little better than his best, go with less sleep than the little he normally gets, follow clue after clue, never giving up when he is searching for the murderer of a fellow officer.
It is the night of December 6, 1921. In Mosley's Auditorium at Grand Avenue and 16th Street, the annual police ball is being held. Clad in severe black and white evening dress, accompanied by their ladies in dazzling, colorful gowns, the guardians of the law are at this moment being led by Mayor George E. Cryer in the Grand March. Immediately behind the mayor marches Police Chief Charles E. Jones. Just as the march is drawing to a close, an attendant approaches the chief.
Beg pardon, Chief.
Yes, what is it?
Important telephone call, sir.
Tell them to wait.
They said to get you to the phone at once. It's headquarters.
Very well. Will you pardon me, my dear? Always business, you know.
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Right here. Oh, yes, thank you. Hello? Chief Jones speaking. What? Yes. All right. I'll be right down. Stop the music, Professor.
Stop the music up here.
Other officers, I have just had a call from headquarters. It was a report that Officer Bill Brett and Officer Harry Clester have just been murdered. I guess the party's over for tonight, boys.
As the grief-stricken officers file silently out of the auditorium, newsboys are already screaming the headlines of extras heralding the death of the two policemen. Chief Jones goes to headquarters immediately, followed by the shocked officers, many of whom have not stopped to change from evening dress to uniform. A citywide manhunt is ordered at once for the brutal killers, who, not content with riddling the bodies of Brett and Clester with bullets, had maniacally driven the car backwards and forwards over the already dead bodies. The next morning, Detectives Jesse Urban and Harry Hickok are assigned to assist Harry J. Raymond, Night Chief of the Theft Bureau of the Automobile Club of Southern California, in investigating the crime.
You know, boys, I'd rather capture the murders of Brett and Clester than any criminals I have ever brought in. These boys were close friends of mine. We've worked on plenty of cases together, and a finer pair of thoroughbreds I have never known.
Yep, that's right. They were great guys.
You have to go that way.
You get any more dope on it down at headquarters?
Well, not much. They found a couple of girls who saw it happen from the front room of their house, but they were so scared they didn't remember much. Just isn't any clue.
Personally, I think an outside mob did it. I'll bet they highballed out of town right afterward.
No, it doesn't sound right to me.
So why?
Well, it seems to me they needed some quick dough, or they never would have been working Boyle Heights. It's thinly settled, and there's no big dough to knock over up there.
Yeah, that's right.
My guess is they're still around. Let's go out of the neighborhood and look the place over.
But a close questioning of the residents in the neighborhood of the scene of the crime fails to reveal anyone save the two girls who had seen it happen. But Raymond will not admit defeat. 2 nights later, he returns by himself and continues his questioning. This time, he is successful. He finds an old ex-gold miner who had not been home on his previous round of the neighborhood.
Yep, yes, I seen the shooting. I was sitting on the porch smoking my pipe when I see these 2 cars go by. One was an old Ford. The other was the police car, I suppose.
Yes, and what happened?
Well, I heard somebody from the rear of the first car yell, "Boys, don't do that." And there were 2 shots, and the man fell out of it. The policeman in the second car got out and ran up. And just then, another guy gets out the Ford and starts running across the vacant lot.
How was he dressed?
He wore a light checkered suit, like a gambler, I'd say. And I saw him in the street light, and his hair was light and thin.
Would you know him if you saw him again?
Yes, I'm certain I would.
Good. What else happened?
Well, the policeman called to this fella to halt, and instead, the hombre in the check suit fired a shot at him. Then there was a shot in the back of the car, and I heard the glass splintering. Then the man in the check suit, he come back to the car, and they drove the Ford over the bodies of the policemen, and then they drove away.
How many men were there in the car?
Oh, I don't know. I guess about 4.
Well, man, why didn't you report this to the police?
Listen, mister, I've lived in the West a long time, in the gold camps and the silver mines, and I've seen a lot of shooting scrapes. And I'm alive now because I don't meddle in other people's business.
Next day, Detective Raymond returns to the scene of the crime, searching for clues. In a pile of rubbish along the curb, he finds a small, irregular piece of glass. Elated at this discovery, he brings it to the chief.
Well, Chief, here's a clue.
What's that?
A piece of broken glass. My guess is that it's from the windshield that was shattered by bullets the other night.
Any fingerprints on it?
Hardly. It was shot away.
All you have to do is find a car with a broken windshield that will fit that piece.
Yeah, but I want to...
With all the automobiles in Los Angeles, that's quite a job.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But I've got 2 clues. One of the guys wore a check suit, and this piece of glass fits into a windshield someplace. And if it's humanly possible, these 2 clues are going to avenge the murders of Brett and Clester.
Go to it, Harry. You've cut out a big job for yourself, but I'm all for you.
2 nights later, Raymond and Irvin are cruising through the Central Avenue district on their routine job of searching for automobile thieves. Suddenly, as they turn to 40th Street,
Harry, look.
What?
Stop the car a minute and turn out the lights.
What is it?
See those two cars down the street there?
Yeah? Oh, I get it. Tire thieves, huh? Well, we'll just take those lads in. Come on.
Okay. Turn on your lights like you was going to drive by them.
Irvin,
What?
that windshield has a sticker on it like comes on new windshield.
Well, what of it? Hey, what are you driving fast for? Aren't you going to pinch him?
Nope. I got a hunch, Irvin.
What's the matter with you?
Listen, I may be crazy, but that was a new windshield in that Ford. This old prospector who saw the shooting said they used an old Ford, and that one of the bullets shattered the windshield. Those guys might be the ones we're looking for.
Yeah, they might at that.
Well, we're going to follow them and find out.
Irvin and Raymond tail the suspected car to Hermosa Beach, where it enters a garage behind the house a block from the ocean. The windows of the house are lit up, and the two detectives remain on watch until the lights go out at 4:30. Next morning, they are to stake out early, accompanied by Hickok, and their vigil is rewarded when 3 men and 2 women come out of the house clad in bathing suits and go down to the beach. Leaving Hickok on watch in front, the 2 detectives go around to the back door. They enter by means of Raymond's pass key.
Say, Harry, here's an rifle.
What's that?
In this drawer here, look.
Revolver. Automatic.
And look at this sawed-off shotgun and all the slugs.
Hey, let's get a look at the garage.
Okay.
Well, there's the old Ford in the garage.
Yeah.
Now I want to take a look at this windshield. By gosh, Irvin, I'm right.
What's that?
This is a new windshield. Here's the price on this sticker.
Say, Harry, here's the old one here, and it's broken.
Where?
On this bench.
Oh, boy, this is more like it.
Hey, what are you fixing in your pocket for?
That piece of glass I picked up on the street. Wait a minute. Here it is. Here it is. Now, let's see. Irvin, it fits. This is the gang that murdered Brett and Cluster.
The next day, the 3 detectives return and watch until the same 3 men and 2 women go to the beach for their swim. Then they interview the occupants of the adjoining house.
It all depends on what they look like here.
Yeah.
I'll stall till I find out if it's okay. How do you do, ma'am? Could you tell me who lives next door?
I don't know. Why are you asking?
Well, we're interested in knowing.
Well, I don't know nothing about them. They just moved in a couple of weeks ago. They keep to themselves, and so do I. Seems like to stay up mighty late, though.
I see. So you never met them then, huh?
No, I don't do no visiting with neighbors out here in California. Now, back in Grand Island, Nebraska, where I come from, it was different.
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, ma'am, we're police officers.
Police officers? Oh, well, I declare.
And we'd like to keep watch on these people next door.
Why? What have they done?
Well, we don't know, but we're interested in finding out. I wonder if you could let us occupy a room on the side of your house next to theirs.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Pa. Pa? Oh, Pa!
Yes, Henrietta? What is it? Well, what did you want?
These men are police officers.
Hey?
It's the law, Pa.
Hey, what they after us for?
They ain't, Pa. They want to watch the folks next door. It's all right?
Well, I suppose so. Have they shown you their papers?
Oh, yes, of course. Here you are, sir.
Well, that looks sure enough like the real thing. You can come in.
That's fine. Go into the room here, Cox. We've got to plant that machine.
Right.
It is a simple matter to plant a dictaphone behind a curtain in the house of the suspects and run a line over the shifting beach sand to the house next door. All day the detectives lie in hiding, alternately taking turns listening at the dictaphone. Late in the afternoon, the party returns from the beach, and then, as they sit around the dinner table, the detectives get an earful.
Hey, get a load of this.
Well, let me tell you, guy, you better never doubt Bill's nerve when he's around.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Curly and Bill will be down tonight to talk things over. Ask him about that time in Utah. Yeah, that's right. Curly and Bill pulled plenty of fast ones on the Mormons.
Oh, come on, boys. Cut the arguing. Have some more potatoes.
Sure.
Reach for them.
Where's Babs, Marge?
She's lying down. She got a headache in the sun today.
Hey, here's Curly now. He just let himself in. Hiya, Curly.
Hey, Curly. How's the boy?
Hello, boys.
Hiya, Marge.
Where's Bill?
I couldn't make it so early. You'll be down later. Hey, got some grub for me?
Sure, Curly. Here you are.
Got any angles, Curly?
Yeah, a couple. Hey, and get this, Cal. You know, we got to get busy and get some dough.
Sure, that's right. Just as soon as you line up the jobs, we'll pull them.
Yeah? Well, we've had some good jobs lined up, and we'd be getting the dough right now if you had any nerve.
Nerve? What do you mean I ain't got no nerve? I had plenty the night we bumped off them 2 coppers over in Boyle Heights, didn't I? Didn't I go to the receiving hospital and make sure them 2 guys were dead? Didn't I? The rest of you monkeys didn't have There's no doubt about it. Those are the birds that killed Brett and Cluster.
Come on, let's knock 'em over right now.
Yeah, come on, Harry, let's go.
Now, wait a minute. We've got these mugs any time we want to take 'em. Let's wait until this Bill fella comes. Let's get 'em all at once.
Later, Bill, the apparent leader of the mob, arrives, and they discuss a job they have in mind that will net them some Christmas money. When Curly and Bill leave the place, Raymond follows Curly, and Irvin and Hickok tail Bill, thus discovering the Los Angeles addresses of both men. The next night, the 3 detectives decide to arrest the gang, but Jess is missing. They plan to get an early dinner, and hoping Jess will have arrived by the time they get back to knock the place over then. But on their return...
Hey, this is funny.
What's that?
The house is dark.
Do you suppose that,
Beg pardon, Constable.
Yes?
They moved out while you was away.
They did.
Yes, they all left less than 15 minutes ago. A baggage man came and took their stuff away, and they all piled into that old fort of theirs. I couldn't stop them.
No, of course not.
Maybe we should have knocked over the 6 of them while we had a chance.
yeah.
But I did find one thing out. Yes, I got the license number of the car and the name of the expressman.
Through the quick-witted cooperation of the old lady, the detectives are enabled to pick up the trail once more. The expressman, when questioned, tells them the address on South Hope Street where he transferred the baggage for one of the girls. They raid the girl's room and take her to headquarters. Heedless of her loud protests, they question her half the night. Finally...
Now, look at here, Marge. It's up to you. You can tell us the truth and save yourself, or you can lie to us, and sure as I'm standing here, you'll hang, just as all the rest of your friends are going to hang.
Listen, boys, you got me all wrong. I ain't done a thing. Honest, I ain't. I come from a good family, I do. I'd never harm a living thing, not even a copper.
Yeah, we know that, Marge. Now, we're not doubting you. But what we want to know is, what do you know about these other guys? Now, remember, if you want to talk, it'll save your neck. You're innocent. We want to believe you.
Well, I guess they bumped off the bulls all right. That's what they claimed, anyway.
Who are these guys? Who's Curly?
Well, his real name is Willard Thompson.
And Bill, who's he?
He's Bill Brinkhurst. They both served time up in Utah.
Well, what about the rest of them?
Jim Wheaton, Cal Rowe, and Jess Wendell are their names.
Jim Wheaton, Al Royal, and Jess Wendell. Hey, tell me, why did you leave the beach so suddenly?
The boy just got a hunt. That's all.
Where are they now?
I don't know. Honest, I don't. I wish I'd never seen them. I'm straight, I am. I was trained to be a nurse, and if things hadn't been so tough, I'd never taken up with them. Oh, I wish I was dead. I wish I was dead.
Through Marge's information, the detectives arrest Bob. Her story agrees with Marge's in every substantial detail. Then the roundup is on in earnest. Curly is the first to be awakened from a sound sleep and placed under arrest. A stakeout of additional detectives is left in Curly Thompson's room, while Raymond, Irvin, and Hickok raid Brinkhurst's dwelling. He, too, is captured before he can shoot. And a short while later, Wheaton is taken as he walks into the trap in Curly's room. Next day, Rowell, too, walks into the arms of the law as they are staked out in Thompson's room. With the entire gang, excepting Jess Wendell, rounded up, the detectives proceed to question the suspect. Under the grilling, Wheaton and Rowell quickly confessed their participation in the crime, though stoutly maintaining neither had shot the 2 policemen. Thompson is questioned next.
Listen, you big flatfoot. You're just wasting your time. I won't talk no matter what.
Now, look here, Thompson. Remember that time an informer sent you back to the road gang in Utah?
What's that got to do with this rap?
Nothing much. You know who squealed on you for the $25 reward?
No, and I don't care.
Well, maybe you don't care. I'm telling you anyway. It was your pal, Brinkhurst.
You're a liar.
Oh, I don't think so, Thompson. Here's the reward receipt for $25 paid out to William Brinkhurst.
Well, I'll be a... Why, he was my best friend.
Yeah, that looks like it, doesn't it? Now will you come clean?
No. Just because he was a dirty stool pigeon, you don't you think I'm one? You'll never get nothing out of me.
And Curly Thompson stoutly maintains his silence. Brinkhurst is next to be questioned. He claims he was helping his wife with the washing on the night of December 6th. Mrs. Brinkhurst is brought in to face her husband.
Mrs. Brinkhurst, your husband tells us that he was helping you do the washing on the night of December the 6th. Is that true?
Go ahead, Molly, and tell him about it. That was the night you had such bad rheumatism in your left hand. Remember?
No, Bill. It won't work this time. I covered you up. I lied for you for the last time. You gotta face it alone now. I've given you the best of myself. There's nothing left now. I'm burned out, Bill. I'm through protecting you. I'd like someone to protect me for a change. No, officer. My husband was not home that night.
2 days before Christmas, Detective Raymond locates the estranged wife of Jess Wendell, the only member of the gang still at liberty. He gives the officer a picture of Wendell and the license number of his Ford coupe. Raymond returns in high spirits to the officer of Secretary Mitchell of the Auto Club.
Mr. Mitchell, I've got a picture and a complete description of the last one of that gang.
Good. What do you propose to do?
I want to run him down.
Well, aren't you satisfied with the 4 you have?
No, sir. I'm going to get every one of those guys that killed my pals. This Wendell is the toughest of the lot. I want to broadside the West with circulars announcing the $10,000 reward offered dead or alive.
Go ahead.
It's going to cost money to print and mail these flyers.
I'll send through an order to advance you whatever funds you need.
That's great.
After a long search for a printer, Raymond finally finds one willing to undertake such a mammoth order on Christmas Eve. 20 traffic officers are dispatched from headquarters to augment the clerical staff of the Auto Club, and the circulars, ink still wet, are in the mail by midnight of Christmas Eve. The day after Christmas, the phone rings on Raymond's desk.
Sergeant Raymond speaking.
Oh, the line a moment, please. Maryland, California's calling.
Hello?
Hello?
I want to talk to Sergeant Raymond.
You're speaking to him.
Good. This is Constable Harris. I'm in charge of a road gang near Maryland. I just checked your circular today. The man you want passed through Maryland day before yesterday.
He did? Are you sure?
Yeah, he was driving a Ford coupe piled down with bedding. He drove up and asked for something to eat. I told him he'd have to wait until I heard the prisoner. He looked scared. Said he was in a hurry. I was suspicious, so I took down his license number and he drove away.
And what was the number?
The same as the one on your circular.
That's fine, Constable. And thank you for your information.
Quite all right, Sergeant. Can I do anything else for you?
Nothing right now. If you can, I'll get in touch with you.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye. Now we can start to move. Get me Western Union.
Western Union.
I want you to take a telegram.
To whom is the telegram going?
To every Western Union office in Southern California, beginning at Maryland and then to Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah.
Beg pardon, sir. Do you know what they're doing? That means thousands of officers. Not a large bill.
Never mind that. Charge it to the Automobile Club of Southern California.
Very well. What is the message, please?
At Raymond's request, Santa Fe Railroad dispatchers send Wendell's description to every station on the Santa Fe throughout California, Arizona, and New Mexico. Every brakeman, conductor, porter, engineer, and fireman is furnished with a copy of the message describing Wendell and his automobile. The message which begins one of the widest manhunts in the history of the Southwest. While hundreds of keen-eyed officers in every town and hamlet in 3 states are searching for the fugitive, word comes from Yuma that a man answering Wendell's description stole a pair of Arizona license plates and is heading east. Then from Oatman, Arizona, comes a flight that Wendell's coupe had passed through that town. Raymond, Irvin, and Hickok, missing the eastbound Limited, jump in their car and race it to San Bernardino, intending to board it there. Arriving ahead of the train, Raymond telephones Sheriff Mahoney in Kingman, Arizona.
Hello? Hello? Sheriff Mahoney?
Yes. Can you speak louder?
I'll try. This is Sergeant Raymond of Los Angeles. Did you get my circular describing Jess Wendell?
Yes.
Well, this Wendell was last seen heading east through Oatman. Detectives Orvin and Hickok and I are taking the 1040 in a couple of minutes, but I'd like you to start after him right away.
As the three Los Angeles detectives climbed through the Cajon Pass aboard one train, Sheriff Mahoney and his deputy rumbled across the desert on another. Seated at a table in the dining car, they scanned the highway that parallels the tracks.
Well, we might as well eat while we're working.
That's right.
Where can I get you, gentlemen?
Let's see. We'll get some of this Virginia ham and sweet potatoes.
Yeah, that's mighty good today, sir. Yeah.
Make mine the same.
Yeah, I'll get it right away.
Not much traffic out on the highway today.
No, too cold to drive across the desert this time of year.
Lots of people traveling by train, if this is a sample.
Yep. Say, Mahoney, look up ahead there.
What?
That black speck on the road. That might be it.
Yeah, might. Well, keep your eyes open.
Yep, it's the Ford.
And it has bedding piled on the back.
That's it.
Hold that emergency cord. What's the idea of pulling a talk? Can't stop to explain, conductor. I'm sheriff of this county. Come on, Red. Get your gun out. Wait. The car is empty, Red.
Let's ask these section hands about it.
Right. Hey, buddy. Where's the guy that owns that Ford coupe?
Oh, him? Oh, he come ask for food. I tell him go to the section house. My woman feed him.
Well, go in there and tell him to come out with his hands in the air.
Here he is, the door, Mahoney.
No, he's disappeared. Come on, let's take him.
Come on, Mahoney.
I'm afraid it's too late now. Yes. Bumped himself off.
Look, he only wounded himself with the first shot. Then he had the nerve to pump three more into himself.
Hold on, he's moving. Take that gun from him.
Don't worry, boy. I'm through bumping off coppers. But the joke's on you, boy. You can't hang me now.
Wendell died on the westbound train bringing him back to Los Angeles. Jim Wheaton and Cal Rowell were given life by a jury that took into consideration their confessions. And on April 21st, 1924, Brinkhurst and Thompson were hanged in San Quentin. By agreement among themselves, Raymond, Irvin, and Hickok, whose splendid detective work brought this case to a successful close, split the $10,000 reward and gave one half to the widow of Officer Brett and the other half to the widow of Officer Clester.
Thank you, Chief Davis. Police officers realize that their lives are at stake when they speed up their emergency cars to capture a criminal. They can't take chances on ordinary gasoline and risk a stalled engine, a foul spark plug, a sluggish motor. That's why many thousands of operators of emergency cars agree on Rio Grande cracked gasoline and specify it exclusively. Drive your car into your neighborhood Rio Grande station and you'll get exactly the same cracked gasoline that police and emergency car drivers prefer above all others. You'll also get some novel new coins with your change called police money. Boys and girls everywhere are saving this free police money because they can exchange these valuable coins for a complete junior detective outfit. So while you're enjoying police car performance in your car, you're also helping some boy or girl to get 14 free gifts. In the latest issue of the Calling All Cars News, which you can get free from any Rio Grande dealer, you will find a full description of these gifts, together with fascinating illustrated true crime stories and late movie and radio news. Get your free copy of the news right away. All Rio Grande dealers are now recommending Sinclair motor oil. Sinclair not only equals any other oil made, but also has certain features found in no other oil. Before you get your crankcase filled again, ask your Rio Grande cracked gasoline dealer about Sinclair motor oil's advantage. This is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Calling All Cars, a copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
That's all. Those are better.
The greatest testing laboratory for gasoline is in the emergency cars operated by police and fire departments. Cities and counties keep accurate cost records of these cars, and it is easy to tell which gasoline gives greater mileage. Emergency cars test gasolines over the same streets and roads that you travel on. So when we prove conclusively that more police and emergency cars use Rio Grande cracked than any other gasoline, we have definite proof that this same gasoline will also improve the performance of your car. You'll get greater speed because Rio Grande cracked has been chosen for the fastest cars on the highway. You'll get greater power, for the most powerful motors made are in the fire engines that use Rio Grande cracked gasoline. And you'll get more economical operation because cost records of the many cities and counties using Rio Grande cracked prove that this gasoline gives more miles in every gallon. So Rio Grande backs up its bid for your business with facts, not merely claims. The same gasoline that powers more police and emergency equipment than any other brand will actually improve the performance of your car. Rio Grande's independent dealers in every neighborhood offer you the same cracked gasoline that emergency cars use. Now our pleasure to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. There is an element of pride in the makeup of every member of your police force. Pride in a job well done. Every man is eager to be the one who clears up a mysterious case. It is this element which is really responsible for the solutions to baffling crimes. For as you all know, the financial reward of a police officer is certainly not enough to compensate him for the long hours, the nights away from home, and the risks he runs every day in his search for desperate lawbreakers. Your police officers are intensely, personally anxious to trace down every evidence of a crime, and their greatest reward is the satisfaction of writing solved on the records of a case on which they have worked. Tonight we are presenting the dramatization of a famous case in which the police had very slim and nebulous clues to work on. The case looked almost hopeless, but the men assigned to find the murderer of Barbara Mauger made it a matter of personal pride to bring the case to a successful conclusion. The story you will now hear reveals what is, to my mind, one of the finest examples of sincere detective work in the annals of the Los Angeles Police Department. The case of the 3 grooved bullets.
Our story tonight opens in June of 1928, when pretty Barbara Mauger, a girl of 19, is chatting gaily in her apartment with Mrs. Roberts, her neighbor from across the hall.
Oh, my dear, I'm so glad for you. And when do you expect you'll be married?
Oh, pretty soon now. Well, Russell and I haven't set the date, but we're going to run off any time, and when we come back, I'll be Mrs. Russell Burholm.
How nice. And aren't you excited?
Oh, terribly. I just can't wait. Oh, and Russell has a new car, and Sunday we're going out in the hills on a picnic.
How nice.
Oh, guide me a moment, Mrs. Roberts.
Of course, my dear.
Hello? Oh, hello, Russell. Yeah? Yeah, I have it in the desk. All right. Yeah, I'll look at it right now. Hold the wire. Oh, what's that? Don't be frightened, Mrs. Roberts. It's just Russell's gun. It's loaded. Oh, let's see. Well, I can't make this out. Can you, Mrs. Roberts?
Oh, don't point that at me.
It's all right, really. Say, can you make out these numbers?
I'm deathly afraid of guns. What do you want with a number?
Well, Russell wants them, so he can get bullets for us.
Bullets?
Yeah. He wants to do some target practicing when we go on the picnic Sunday. Now, what do these numbers look like to you?
Well, let's see.
I'm sorry. Well, now, I'd say that looks like a 3, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right.
And that's a 2. Yeah. And a 2 and a 0. 3220. That sounds right, doesn't it?
Well, sir, I don't know.
Well, I'll ask him. Hello, Russell? Is 3220 the number you want? Yeah. Well, that's what it is, all right. Yes, darling. All right. I'll look for you later. Goodbye. And Russell, I love you.
My dear, get that gun out of the place as soon as you can. I tell you, I'm frightened of them. No good ever come of having a gun around the place.
That weekend, in the canyon off Mulholland Drive, pretty Barbara Morga is enjoying the warmth of a June afternoon with her sweetheart, Russell Burholm. On the horizon, white clouds dilute the friendly sun. Overhead, the sky is deep blue. A bird sings nearby. Barbara is completely happy, but for one thin shadow across her heart.
But, Russell, we can't wait much longer.
Why not?
Well, I told everybody. All my friends know we're going to be married.
Now, listen, Barbara. Been all over this before, and I don't want to listen to it again.
Oh, but, Russell, you promised me you'd marry me, and, well, every time I bring it up, you stop me. Oh, don't you think you've hurt me enough, Russell? Gee, I haven't any pride left.
Now, for Pete's sake, let up.
Oh, but, Russell,
You want to know I won't
wife.
marry you. Well, I'll tell you now. I won't marry you because I can. I've got a wife and kid back east.
Oh.
And I'm going back to them as soon as I can. If you want the truth, I'm sick and tired of you, Barbara.
Oh, Russell.
From now on, we're quits.
Oh, Russell, why didn't you tell me?
Now you know what you're going to do.
But I love you, Russell. I love you.
That was in June. For more than 2 months, no one apparently missed Barbara Morga. At least her disappearance was not reported to the police. And then, on the afternoon of August 2nd, 1928, as Detective Lieutenant Frank B. Condaffer of the Homicide Squad is standing watch at the headquarters. Homicide Squad, Condaffer speaking.
Hello, Condaffer. This is Bergendorf of the Fire Department Mountain Patrol.
Yeah?
Listen, we just found a dead body in the underbrush near the bottom of Stone Canyon, up off Mulholland Drive.
Yeah. Dead long?
Pretty long. Young woman. Looks like murder to me.
Okay, Bergendorf. I'll get Sanderson, my partner, and we'll be right out.
A half hour later, Detectives Condaffer and Sanderson joined Bergendorf on Mulholland Drive. Hello, Bergendorf.
Hello, Condaffer.
Where's the body?
Well, the body's down this gully way. Come on, follow me here. Well, boys, here we are.
Yeah, who found it?
We did. My name is Vernon Johnson, and this is my pal, Edgy Hitchcock.
How did you happen to find it?
Well, we was driving up this way, and we noticed some big buzzards circling over the bottom of the canyon. We went down to investigate. When we saw what it was, we run back and reported it.
Been dead some time.
Frank, look here.
What's that, Sanderson?
A bullet hole in the temple.
Has any clothes been found around here?
No, sir, not a shred.
Well, then it can't be suicide.
No, she could hardly have wandered all the way here unclothed.
That's what I figured.
Looks like the body's been dragged down the hill here from the way that brush is flattened out.
Yes, but it's going to be hard to make an identification. Nothing to go by excepting that she's a blonde. Uh-oh. Say, wait a minute.
What's that you just picked up?
May not be worth much, but we'll take them in. 4 white beads. Detectives Sanderson and Condaffer returned to headquarters, and for hours they pored over the files of the Missing Persons Bureau. But their search seems doomed to failure.
Well, this looks pretty hopeless.
Yep, not a description here that I've seen that'll fit the body we found there.
You still got the beads?
Yeah, a lot of good they'll do. You Fine, they're not large enough to take fingerprints from, and if they were, these prints would probably only be those of the girl.
It looks like this is just another unexplained murder.
Sure does.
Well, what are you two birds looking so gloomy about, eh?
Oh, nothing much. We're far ahead of when we started. We know that the body of a young blonde girl was found, apparently murdered near Mulholland Drive.
And that's all we know.
A young blonde girl, is it? How old?
Oh, I should say between 19 and 21.
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. Seems to me I heard something about a young blonde girl being missing.
You did?
Where? Wait a minute now, wait a minute. Let me think. Oh, yes, I remember. My wife was telling me a friend of hers lived in the same flat building with a blonde girl, the name of Mrs. Barber, as I remember. Yeah, about a month ago, she went away suddenly, and...
Hey, that sounds hot. What address was that?
Just a minute now, and I'll call the wife and find out.
A short while later, Condapper and Sanderson visit the landlady of the flat building to which their friend directs them. So you see, lady, if you could give us a line on this Miss Barber, it might help us a lot.
Well, you're mistaken in the name. No one by the name of Miss Barber ever lived here. But there was a girl by the name of Barbara Margaret, she was called. She suddenly went away. Her boyfriend called for her things. But his explanation didn't sound straight to me.
Sounds like we're on the right track.
Doesn't that? Now, tell us all you know about it, please.
Well, to be truthful, I don't know much. But if you talk to Mrs. Roberts, she may be able to help you. She was pretty close with the girl.
Where's she?
Well, she lives across the hall from the apartment the Margaret girl had. Just go up the stairs and knock on the door on the left.
Fine, thank you very much.
There we are. There's the name on the door, Mrs. Roberts.
How do you do?
We understand that you were acquainted with Barbara Margaret, Mrs. Roberts.
Yes, that's right. She lived across the hall from me. Why, dear Al?
We're police officers, ma'am. Barbara Margaret's been missing, and we're trying to locate her. When did you see her last?
Why, that Sunday when she went off on a picnic with her sweetheart.
What is his name?
Why, Russell Burholm.
Do you recognize these, lady?
Oh, well, those are her beads. What's happened? Is she dead? Oh, I just knew something terrible would happen that morning she left with him. Oh, that poor child. What's happened to her? Tell me.
Now, Miss Roberts, you can help us most by remaining quiet and answering our questions.
Yes, sir, all right, I'll try. Only tell me what happened to Barbara.
We found a body yesterday, ma'am, out in Stone Canyon. She'd been shot.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, I just knew something awful would happen to her. I just had a premonition when I saw that gun.
What gun?
The gun that belonged to her sweetheart, Russell. She had it here.
What was she doing with the gun?
Well, she said that Russell had left it with her. One day, the day before she went on the picnic it was, I was in there with her when Russell called and asked her to read him the number on it so he could buy some bullets. I helped make out the number.
Now, Mrs. Roberts, please, you must help us here.
How long did you know Barbara Morgan, Miss Roberts?
Quite a while. And it was just nearly every day when she lived across the hall.
Did you know her sweetheart?
I met him once when Barbara and I were downtown. He was in front of the Metropolitan Theater.
Did he work there?
It was my impression.
And what did you say his name was?
Burholm. Russell Burholm.
How old was he?
About 28, I should say. Oh, several years older than Barbara, anyway.
Did Barbara seem to be happy?
Well, not always. Sometimes when I visit her, I thought she'd been crying. But she never admitted it. She was always excited about getting married.
Oh, she was engaged to this Burholm then.
Oh, yes. Although I somehow had a suspicion he was stringing her along.
I see. Now, Mrs. Roberts, if you'll tell us the circumstances of the last time you saw Barbara.
Well, it was on a Saturday afternoon in the latter part of June. She was looking forward to a picnic she and Russell were going on in that place where you found her.
Stone Canyon?
That's right.
What else?
Well, as I told you, he called and asked for the number on the gun.
She gave them to him, and then she explained that he had borrowed it from a friend of his, and he wanted to try it out on a picnic. Now I know what that meant.
Can you think of anything else, Miss Roberts?
I can understand it all now. Russell came back at about 6 o'clock, and I asked him where Barbara was. He said, "You said goodbye to Barbara, Mrs. Roberts. She left for the east this afternoon to visit her family." I asked him if that wasn't pretty sudden, and I was a little angry because she hadn't said goodbye to me.
Well, didn't it occur to you to report your suspicions to the police?
Well, I never meddled in other people's affairs. His story seemed plausible enough. He said something about Barbara's having met an uncle of hers who took her back. After all, I didn't think it was my business to start an investigation. She could have gone away, as he said, you know.
Yes, she could have.
Now, Mrs. Roberts, have you any idea where this Burholm works?
Well, as I said, I was under the impression that he worked at the Metropolitan Theater. Barbara used to telephone him.
Where? At the Metropolitan Theater?
I don't know. It was a Metropolitan number.
Can you remember it?
Let's see now. It had some fives in it. I think. It was Metropolitan 152. Yes, that's it. Metropolitan 1525.
1525. That's fine, Mrs. Roberts. You've been a big help to us. Now we'll see if we can trace down this Burholm fellow.
Well, please call me if I can be of any more assistance.
We will, indeed.
Detectives Condafer and Sanderson drive immediately to the Metropolitan Theater. At the stage door, they ask for the stage manager. The stage show's on now.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get a look. I always get a kick out of being backstage.
Wait a minute. I got an idea.
What's that?
We better not let this guy know we're detectives. Might show our hands.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We'll just act like we're friends of Burholm's.
Okay, but wait a minute. This must be the guy now.
You want to see me?
Yes, we're looking for a man by the name of Burholm. He works here.
Burholm? Never heard of him.
Well, you see, he works here.
Not here, buddy.
Oh.
That's funny. Are you positive? Or couldn't he be one of the motion picture operators?
Hey, listen, don't you suppose I know my own employees?
Yes, but
There's nobody here by that name. Somebody's giving you a bum steer, that's all.
Well, has anybody by that name worked here in the last couple of
No,
months?
I tell you, I'm busy. I got a show to put on. I can't stand here all night answering dumb questions.
Pleasant sort of a guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, we're out on the limb again.
Let's look up this number Ms. Roberts gave us.
Okay, there's a phone over here by the wall. Let's see now. J-E-L-M. Here we are. Metropolitan Theater. What was that number?
Metropolitan 1525.
That's not the number of the theater.
It isn't. Let me see. No, but look. It is the number of the engine room of the Metropolitan building.
Well, now that's getting closer. Let's go down there right now. You're the boss here.
I'm the engineer.
We're looking for Burholm.
Who?
Russell Burholm. He's working here somewhere.
Nobody by that name here.
Well, let's take a look at the time book.
Why?
We're trying to locate Burholm. Where's your book?
I can't let you look at them.
We're police officers.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, hand over the book there.
Sure. Here it is.
Find anything, Frank?
No Burholm listed here in the past 6 months.
Say, we had a cooling system put in here a while back. Maybe your man worked on that crew.
Maybe. What's the company?
It was the Macintosh Engineering Company. You might see the foreman of the installation gang. They're putting in the system in the barroom at the Biltmore now.
Well, thanks. We'll go over there and talk to him.
Gee, it looks more like a pipe yard than a ballroom.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Yeah?
Is Russell here?
Russell? No, he's not working on this job.
Oh, that's too bad. We're friends of his. We're leaving for San Diego this afternoon. We wanted to see him before we left.
Well, you can catch him at the office. I know he's there today.
Okay, thanks. We'll drop by the office.
Someone to see you, Russell. Right this way, please.
Oh? We're Officer Burholm. Come along with us.
Yeah, I thought so.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I read in the papers about a body being found. Suppose you'd be looking me up.
Then you killed her, huh?
I didn't kill anybody. I had an argument with my girlfriend and she left me.
Is that any reason for you to think you'd be accused of murder?
Well, I noticed the body was found out on Mulholland Drive and it was out there I last saw her.
Pretty peculiar coincidence, don't you think?
Oh, I don't know. Even if it is her they found, that doesn't prove I killed her. Somebody else must have done it.
I'll warn you right now that anything you say may be used against you. At the same time, you're at liberty to clear yourself if you can.
I guess I won't do any talking until I've seen an attorney.
If you aren't guilty, you won't need an attorney. A few hours later, accompanied by a police stenographer who makes surreptitious notes from the front seat of the police car, Condatner and Sanderson drive Burholm to the scene of the crime. They question him en route.
Now, you say you had an argument with Barbara, and she got out of the car, and you left her there. What was the argument about?
She was always asking me to marry her. I told her I wouldn't.
Why?
I couldn't.
Why not?
Because I'm already married.
Oh, I see. Then you had a motive.
Now, what do you mean, motive? I told you I didn't kill her.
Where did you first meet her?
Department store in Philadelphia. I both worked there.
What name did you go by when you worked in Philadelphia? Burholm?
No. Now, my own name. Russell St. Clair Baxter.
Oh, your real name isn't Burholm.
No, I got into a little trouble at the store, so I decided I'd use another name out here. Because I didn't want my wife to trace me then. And I'm sick of this place. I'm going back to my wife and kid.
Maybe you are. Perhaps you won't mind telling us why you thought the body found in the canyon might be hers.
Sure. Sure, I'll tell you. Sunday, I think it was the 24th of June, we started toward Stone Canyon for the picnic. Everything went swell until on the way out she began to beg me to marry her. And I told her I wasn't ready to marry her. Anyway, we had a quarrel. Finally, she started crying and got so mad she made me stop the car. She wouldn't ride with me any further. I kidded her a little bit, but I just made her madder, and she got out and walked off. That's the last I saw of her.
Where'd you leave her? Along here somewhere?
I really couldn't say. She might be near here.
Well, let's stop here anyhow. Get out, Burholm, or Beitzel, or whatever your name is. Now, you say you left Barbara Margot on the road along here.
Yeah, she said she'd get home all right. She said someone would come along and give her a lift.
You haven't seen her since, and it's been over a month.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't you report her disappearance to the police?
Well, I was afraid I'd get into a jam, just like I am now, see?
Come on down this way, Beitzel. This is where we found her.
What?
Yeah, surprises you, doesn't it? Not where you left her at all. That was further up the hill. But you hadn't figured on coyotes dragging her body, had you?
Oh, stop. I tell you I didn't do it.
Where's the gun you shot her with? You had one, and we're going to find it.
Sure, I had a gun.
Yeah.
I brought it along for target shooting.
Your aim must have been very good.
What did you shoot at?
Nothing in particular. A couple of birds, that's all.
Yeah, what you really mean is you murdered her, stripped her body, and left it up the hill there.
I did not.
Where's the gun you used for target practice?
In my desk. I borrowed it from a friend. I thought I might buy it, but I decided not to.
Naturally, having no further use for it.
What did you do with the clothes and things you removed from her apartment?
Well, I bundled them up and shipped them away.
Where to?
Why, I just sent them up some town in Arizona. Phoenix, I believe.
To what name?
I can't remember. I put a Seattle return address in the package.
Well, what was the idea of that?
I thought I could get him back again if she ever came or wrote for him.
Come on now, Beitzel. You must realize your story is pretty thin. Won't hold water at all.
That's my story.
Yes, and you're stuck with it.
I haven't anything to worry about.
You may have before you're through, young fellow. And Beitzel has much to worry about as the case against him mounts. Philadelphia police, notified of arrest, inform Los Angeles that he is wanted in Eastern City for embezzlement. A taxi driver, recognizing his picture in the paper, tells police who are taking him to the lonely spot of the murder late one night.
A check of the fictitious address to which Beitzel admits sending Barbara's clothes results in the return of the package. Microscopic examination reveals some blonde hair on the clothing to be the same as the hair on the murdered girl's head. In September of 1928, Beitzel goes on trial for murder before Superior Judge Charles S. Burnell. As the trial drags through one hot September day after another, Beitzel maintains an elegant air of cool insouciance. Then, after the defense has been wound up, the prosecution introduces a surprise witness.
Yeah, this is going to be a cinch. It doesn't look bad. Who's this guy they're calling up to the stand?
I don't know. Let's listen.
And what is your profession, Captain Crosman?
I'm an expert on ballistics.
Will you explain to the jurors what that means?
Ballistics is the science of projectiles.
Good. Do you recognize this gun?
Let me see. Yes, I examined that gun for Lieutenant Conductor of the police department.
This is the gun you examined. The same gun which has been entered in testimony as belonging to the defendant?
Yes.
How do you know it is the same gun?
Well, I recognize the serial number. Even if I didn't, I'd know it by the claw marks on the side. The barrel has been sawed off, apparently to make possible the attachment of a Maxim silence.
I object, Your Honor, on the grounds that this has no bearing on the case.
It has a direct bearing, Your Honor. If the counsel for the defense will permit me to proceed.
Objection overruled. Proceed.
I would like to admit as exhibits two enlarged photographs. Turn them so the jury may see them, Bailey. Thank you. Now, Captain Crosman, do you recognize these photographs?
Yes. They are enlargements of photographs I made myself.
And will you tell the court what they depict?
The one on the right shows the mouth of the barrel of this gun. The saw marks I referred to may be seen clearly.
Your Honor, I object. Objection overruled. May proceed.
The other photograph shows 3 fired bullets. You will notice the grooves clearly shown along the sides of the slug. These grooves were cut by the saw mark on the barrel of the gun.
Your Honor, this is a waste of the court's valuable time. Witness may proceed.
The bullets, you will notice, are marked identically. The ones on the right and left were test shots made from this gun. The middle bullet was taken from the skull of Barbara Morgan.
Nothing could save Beitzel after the unimpeachable testimony of the ballistics expert. And the jury of 5 women and 7 men found him guilty of murder in the first degree. On September 28, 1928, Judge Burnell sentenced Beitzel to hang by the neck until dead. And on August 2nd, 1929, Russell St. Clair Beitzel paid his ultimate debt to society for his crime.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Police departments of the West are great boosters for Rio Grande cracked gasoline. The officers and sheriffs who drive police cars know that it develops greater speed and power in their engines, especially in emergencies when so many ordinary gasolines fail. The recommendations of these police officers and sheriffs have caused thousands of motorists to try Rio Grande cracked gasoline. With such satisfactory results that Rio Grande is leading all gasoline companies in percentage of sales increase. You'll try Rio Grande cracked someday, and you'll be thrilled by your car's improved performance. But when you're trying and you're enjoying the greater power and speed created by a Rio Grande crack, be sure that your engine is protected. High speeds in hot weather thin out many motor oils so that they rupture and break down. That's why we urge everyone who drives to use Sinclair motor oil. Sinclair, Pennsylvania, and Opaline motor oils provide a guaranteed thermal protection that never breaks down at any speed. Because all impurities, wax and petroleum jelly, are extracted from Sinclair motor oils, you can use a lighter grade, which makes your engine run smoother with less drag. You use less oil because the impurities that burn and form carbon are already extracted. Fill your crankcase with Sinclair motor oil. Fill your crankcase with Sinclair motor oil from refinery sealed tamper-proof tins, sold by all Rio Grande dealers. When you drive in tomorrow, also ask for your free copy of the latest Calling All Cars news, which illustrates the complete junior detective outfit that Rio Grande is giving away free to all boys and girls.